Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to another live stream on the channel where healing and spiritual growth are front and center. So let's go ahead and give those notifications a few minutes to come on out or to go out there for everyone to know that we are live. And I always encourage people to remember that when I say, around a certain time, around 2 p.m. It could be a couple minutes before, a couple minutes after, what have you. Okay. Because remember, live broadcasting, is an approximate. Okay. Because, and I'll go ahead and share with y'all for those who would like to know why, is that there's that a little bit of a lag time. So like if I try to launch right at 2, it still may not, actually go until 2:01 anyway. So that's why we say it's around that time. Okay. So yeah, we didn't do the countdown this time around for you. Just God told me, so get right into it. Because we're going to dive into how to deal with sleepers a little bit more. It's part 9. And as always, we do a quick check. There we go. All right. And so I can monitor the chat on YouTube, you all. On my PC, I would be able to monitor the comments and chats on Facebook as well. So just know this, if you're catching this on Facebook, that I will get to your comments after the stream at some point, even if it might be the next day or two. Right, but I will get to it. Just the way that we have this set up for right now, I can monitor the chat on the YouTube channel for now, okay? And I appreciate you understanding and for your patience, all right, you all, seriously. Because dealing with the sleepers, all right, really involves learning how to not let the word salad confuse you. Okay, that's a huge one right there in the healing and spiritual growth process. That's right. And I hope y'all having a blessed day, a blessed weekend, blessed week, blessed month, and what the heck, all year, y'all, seriously, stay blessed. All right. And, a huge thank you to all of y'all, who participate and you come in on the live or on the replays. We highly appreciate you. I don't say that a whole lot. I want y'all to know that you are appreciated. We are very thankful to have you here with us on this journey in the spiritual awakening. That's right. So, we learn new things every single day. And this happens to be one of them. That if they're coming at us with word salad, we don't let it. See, that's the thing. We realize we got the power and authority within us, okay, from the Godhead, to not let what they do confuse us. Because that word salad, that's what it's designed to do. Okay, if it comes across as word salad, and that can come in a number of ways. Okay, you all, seriously, some part of the nuances with these narcissistic abusers is that there's a ton of different flavors, a ton of different ways the word salad is presented, and it is designed to confuse people. Remember, God is not the author of confusion. 1 Corinthians 14:33. Because God is not the author of confusion. So if it's coming at you with word salad or trying to confuse you, we learn to go, never mind. We don't let it get in our mind space. All right, so for example, many of us have seen it when we are like trying to read the instruction on how to do something, right? Okay, well, if it comes across it and it's got all this, like, feels like you're being pulled in a bunch of different directions, well, then you're dealing with word salad, because simple instructions step by step shouldn't do that. All right, see, it's in its simplicity. Okay, it should be logical and follow an order of things. But when we read a list of instructions, I mean, for many of us, we bought something, right, that we had to put it together ourselves, and we're following the instructions, and we always end up with what, some pieces left over or what have you. And many times fellow chosen ones end up figuring out how to do it anyway, using their own logic and common sense. So because not all instruction manuals that come with things are like that, but we've all come across some instruction manuals that is all over the place. Okay, like word salad, and it shouldn't be like that. So we learn to not let that confuse us, because over time. See, that's the slow and subtle process of narcissistic abuse. Let's stop and think about this. That ever since we were born, right, and then we were old enough, let's say, we entered into school, right, enter into the, you know what I'm talking about, okay, and we entered into that, and we're starting to learn things, right? I mean, we start to learn things the moment we're born. The enemy knows this too. And that's why we have to unlearn a lot of what we learned. All the world lies and, about the illusions and the way we're supposed to live our lives and stuff like that. But we start to realize and we start to notice that throughout our lives, we've dealt with word salad. We didn't know that's what it was at the time. We weren't aware of it yet. We didn't realize that, okay, we would often find ourselves being left with, what did they just say? What does that even mean? That kind of stuff, right? Many of us were like, okay. And so we were left, with nothing. We're okay. And anytime we would try to ask them to clarify something or to further explain something, they couldn't do it or they wouldn't do it for whatever reason. Well, it's because, I'm going to tell you, it's the trick of the enemy. They do that on purpose. That's deliberate, to leave you hanging so that you stay confused. Because over time, the repetition of that being confused, that's part of that formation of the cognitive dissonance hypnosis, right? That the enemy needs to keep people under in order for him to hide in plain sight. Never forget that, okay? He needs people to be under that heavy dose of cognitive dissonance hypnosis, okay? Walking around hypnotized, okay? That's right. So that he can continue to hide in plain sight. Well, now for us, when God wakes us up to and from that abuse, the enemy can't hide in plain sight anymore. We see it. And so we catch that word salad and we don't let it confuse us. So what do? If we happen to be involved in an activity or something like that and we're presented with some word salad, okay, here's what we do. Read between the lines, okay? Because you're going to have, like with everything out there, truth mixed with lies, right? Because a lot of times that's what word salad is too, truth mixed with lies. So what do? All right, using that discernment, all right? That's why God needs to, develop that discernment. Using our discernment, or God-given discernment, we just look through it. Okay, hold on. Okay, we take out what we know, what the Spirit tells us is the truth. This is going to help y'all. You can try this. See if it works for you. Modify it, to make it work for you. What I have done, okay, when I come across, let's say I had to turn in a paper or a research project or something like that, and we do come across a lot of word salad, okay, with that. So what I've done is I've done exactly that. I have copied and pasted, the Spirit said, okay, that onto a separate sheet of paper or on a notepad. And that way I have, okay, now it's logical. It makes sense. And take out the mumbo jumbo. All right, we take it out. That's a big way in how we don't let that confuse us. So we're not standing there staring at it, trying to make sense of it, because it's not going to. That's the one thing we come to accept. Okay, yes, at first, many of us did. We come across that word salad, and we would do, exactly what the enemy likes for us to try and do. Waste God's time trying to make sense of it. So we bypass that altogether, and we go, okay, so there's the truth, take that out, put it over here. Where's the truth, take that out. Okay, and you will find, by doing that, you will find that, okay, now, after you've taken out what you know and gotten rid of the mumbo jumbo, the unnecessary, overly sophisticated word, the unnecessary something that didn't even have anything to do with the first sentence or whatever, okay, that doesn't pertain to the project. You know what I'm saying? You'll know what it is because it's going to be relevant to whatever it is you're working on. Okay, your project, whatever it is. So we just take out what we know is to be the truth, okay, or the logic. All right, we take that out and then get rid of the rest. So we're not staring at that word salad and get tricked into trying to make sense of it, because that wastes God's time. And we're not time wasters. Oh, no. The narcissistic abusers love to waste people's time because they want to waste God's time. God's like, no, not anymore. Remember, God is a redeemer, and that's how he's doing it with us. Okay, teaching us how to, get around that resistance so we don't let the word salad confuse us anymore. We take out what we need, okay? Same concept applies when we're navigating through the fallen Babylonian narcissistic matrix, okay? Same thing applies. We navigate through it to get the tools we need, get back out. Same concept. All right, we come across word salad. We take out what we need, get rid of the rest, okay? And now we can follow a logical order of things. All right, and get the project done. Because the big part, when that happens, all right, the big part is because the enemy isn't wanting us to actually finish the project. Think about that for a second, okay? What these narcissistic abusers did, right? They always want to interfere and interrupt, right? Oftentimes with that word salad in an attempt to prevent us from completing a task or to getting something done, because the enemy knows once we're able to complete a task, we get that sense of accomplishment that we are. Yes, that God is validating us from within when we get that sense of accomplishment, but also because whatever it is we're working on is also going to bear fruit. You see? Yes. So the enemy always wants to try to, he always tries to insert himself where he doesn't belong. Oh, yeah. All right. This is why many of us come to realize that in order to have a non-toxic workplace, we have to create it ourselves. We have to create the non-toxic workplace. And that's often in our purpose. We have to co-create it because for whatever reason, many of us were not fortunate enough to work in a non-toxic workplace. So we had to create it ourselves. But see, many of us, like myself included and many out there, knew that one day we were going to have our own business, so to speak, ministry, what have you. We knew we were one day. We didn't know when. But again, everything always happens on God's time. We never forget that. All right? Isaiah 60:22. God is serious about that. Right? It's always going to be on his time. But the enemy always tries to insert himself, that word salad, because he knows that it used to work in the past. That's the big one right there. Because it used to work in the past. And we would sit there and stare at, like, whether it be on paper or on the computer screen or whatever the word salad came as, we would stare at it trying to make sense of it. And we realized, an hour's gone by, 2 hours gone by, what have you, and we just haven't made any progress. Let that sink in. Okay, remember, because the enemy is not, no. Okay, the enemy is not productive. He is destructive. Right? He doesn't like to see people. Oh, yeah, the enemy doesn't want to see anybody actually progress. Right? He doesn't want to see anybody succeed. He doesn't want to see anybody overcome things. He doesn't want to see anybody, get fully healed. He doesn't want to see anybody do that. Well, again, that's too bad because God is in full control. God's got many of us out here to help keep y'all straight. Right? And that's the big one right here on how you deal with them. It's by not letting them confuse you with that word salad. Right? Not letting the enemy win like that. No. Or give him the illusion of winning, if you will, because he's already been defeated. Right? Jesus already defeated the enemy for us. So we don't give him that. All right. We don't let him confuse us through that word salad because that is going to waste time and it is going to hinder our progress. And the enemy knows that. Like to send things across our path to try and hinder our progress because he doesn't like to see. Listen, I'm telling y'all something. All right. The enemy, he is very, very afraid of what God is doing to us, for us, in us, and through us. Okay? He is very afraid of what God is creating with us. He's very afraid of that. Right? He's afraid of what God is doing. But he doesn't really know. Remember that. God did not tell the enemy what he's doing. God is strategic. He moves in silence. See, this is why we learn to do the same thing. Being strategic, moving in silence. So to help y'all put that in perspective here, there's your tip in today's live and for the replay, here's your tip. Moving in silence. Very, very important because that's how we launched the 5P coaching course. I ain't say nothing to nobody. Nope. I gave like a brief hint to one of our fellow warriors, but that was it. I just told him, I said, stay tuned. Like, stay tuned, because I didn't want to, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm like, we got to really, we're going to have this in position first. Remember, 5P, positioning is one of them before we promote. So I wanted to make sure. See, I'm going to tell y'all something. That course, I practice that stuff every single day on every project. That's why I wanted to bring it and share it with you all, to give you all that value, because it helps. That's right. Once we have those 5Ps down pat, man, I'll tell you, it starts to become second nature. And so that's exactly how we launched that, was using the 5P. But it was just second nature. I was like, hold on, I'm gonna, I planned it, prepared it, produced it. Okay. Then I had to get it in position. In other words, I had to get it in the course, okay, in the academy, and make sure everything was in order and stuff like that. And then launch it. That put it in position, and then promote. So that's just to give y'all an example, okay, of how that process works. And it goes simultaneously a lot of times. You'll find that out, okay, the more you practice it. I know that the practicing could be part of it is part of the 5P, but it goes in each one. Okay, you got practice, 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 practice. Right. So I didn't do a 6P because technically you'll be practicing in all 5 of them. So because it goes right along with it, because that's a big part of it. And it helps in the healing process too. That's right. It helps to level up in the healing process, because it helps to organize your thought, so that, remember, when our thoughts are more organized, we don't let that word salad confuse us. Think about that for a second. Okay. When our thoughts are better organized, yeah, the enemy knows this too. When our thoughts are more organized, and then we can get stuff done, and we can get it done quicker, and we don't allow that word salad to hinder our progress by exercising that tip of removing, separating the unnecessary from the, okay, this is necessary, this is logic, that's not. Reading between the lines. Right, once we do that, and then we're able to go, all right, and we'll see that it could be more clear and more concise that way. When we take out unnecessary mumbo jumbo. Now, if the narc is doing it verbally, we do develop selective hearing, you all. I kid you not. Okay, we definitely do. We don't let it get in there. And I know I'm going to share this. Okay, fellow warrior, thank you for letting me share some examples, because it's going to help somebody. Okay, if you got to do it this way, you got to do it this way. Here's your tip. All right, so how do you ignore the word salad if it's coming through, let's say, a text message? You just basically scroll through it. You're, word salad. Okay, keep scrolling. All right, that's that simple. But what if it happens to be during a FaceTime phone call or a regular phone call? What if it happens to be that? Well, there is this feature called the mute button. Okay. And so if the narc, yes, or you can turn the volume all the way down. Okay. Turn the volume all the way down. And because you can pretty much, you can see if you're FaceTiming, Now, if it's just a regular phone call, I have done this and just let the word salad go over there. And then when I could hear that they were done talking, I go, okay, now, okay, if we must. All right, same thing. But if it happens to be through a visual, and it's through a FaceTime or whatever method, technique, the call is taking place, okay, Zoom, what have you, turn that volume down when they start that word salad. Let them finish. We don't have to listen to it. That's the point, you all. So we don't have to. When we notice that they're engaging in word salad, which is often going to come across as that circular talk, you'll notice it. Your spirit will pick it up. And so when you notice it, right, we turn that volume down, or if it's a regular call, we just hold the phone out, let them get it out, and then go, all right, if we must. Okay, because sometimes we're going to have limited contact, y'all. It's just the way it is. And that means we just cut them off at the soul level, right? And that we're not giving them our empathy. So we keep that in mind, as always, because that's the really important point. And that's all part of not letting that word salad confuse us and how we deal with them. Okay, is that we're like, we don't have to listen to it. And so same concept with the word salad that comes across paper and stuff like that. We learn how to separate. what is useful from what's not, so that we're not confused. And so we don't let, and because the enemy is always going to try to put us back under that cognitive dissonance hypnosis, but it's not going to work because we start to develop these skills, right? That's why I'm sharing them with you all, because they work. And because many of us are actually putting these into action, and it works. It prevents the enemy from being able to confuse us again, because we can spot it, we recognize it, we sense it, and we get rid of it. Not only that, because all that confusion leads to what? That's right, more confusion, and then more chaos, more drama. And remember what God says also, that where envying and strife is, there will be confusion and every other evil work. There you go. All right. So yes, hello, Real Deal Prime. Thank you for joining us today. I hope y'all having a blessed day. How are you all doing? Let's drop that in the chat. How's everybody doing? All right. Let's do a wellness check-in right here towards the end, where we often check our chat. Let's just chat in the last 9 minutes or so. All right. Let's do a wellness check. See, how are you all doing? All right. For those who are wondering, we're doing fine. We're doing fantastic. Okay. And yesterday's TV episode, it had a little bit of a tech glitch there in the beginning, but we worked around it. Okay, we got around that resistance. But the content of the show was still fantastic, you all. And it was all about that emotional intelligence and emotional maturity, because we know these narcissistic abusers don't have that. Okay? They don't have that. And it often comes through that word salad, too, that we notice it, right? Yes. Comes through that word salad, because a lot of that word salad that they come out with, very childish, very childlike. Yeah, and of course it's not going to make any sense, right? It's like 2 sentences, and they do it on purpose. And also think about this. Here's your food thought. Right? Think about something. Whenever they dish out that word salad, and that lets you know how disorganized it is up here for them, how cluttered it is up here for them. Because if they're spewing out that word salad, stuff that's making absolutely no sense, then that lets you know that it's full of clutter up there. And of course it would be. Because once the demon spirit gets attached and start playing ping pong up there for them, then of course they're naturally going to be confused and stay that way. And so they're oftentimes using that word salad to try to offload their own confusion. And it does not work that way. It does not work that way at all. Okay, because it's like, no. Because they don't like simplicity. That's another thing we come to realize, that they use that word salad because it does complicate things that aren't complicated, right? Yes, unnecessarily so. So it's like, okay, no thanks. Yeah, it's like, yeah, never mind. We let them have it. And a lot of us have made the joke about what we have asked them, what kind of salad dressing would you like with that word salad? Because it's just no, we don't have time for that. Right? We don't waste our time with that. We don't waste God's time, basically. All right, seriously. So many reasons why that they like to use that word salad, but we realize that we've got the power and authority in us to not let them confuse us with it. Okay, we find ways around that resistance, and again, we got to have limited contact with them. It's unfortunate, but that's the way it is. This is why we overcome evil with good. Okay, and so we learn what works best for us. So whenever I give y'all some tips and suggestions, you try it on for size, and then you'll modify, fine tune, and tweak, or it might work for you just as it is. Who knows? But you'll fine tune and tweak it, make it work for you. Okay, that's what it's all about. We give it to you, and you do with the tips and the suggestions how you want to make it work for you. Okay, that's the bottom line right there. All right, that's important. Okay, with all in the healing and spiritual growth is finding what works best for us. Okay, because each one of us is unique, and that's a beautiful thing. So each one of us, we might share some similar things that work for us, but we're going to also have ways that we make things work for us with utilizing some of the techniques and tips that others offer. Okay, you know what, that tip fits. All right. How can I fine tune and tweak that and make it fit for what we're doing? For what our purpose is. Things like that. To think outside the box. See, God's chosen one. We know how to think outside the box because we're problem solvers. And so this big thing of how to deal with sleepers that are still inside the narcissistic matrix. There's narcissistic abusers. Okay, they're sleeping. All right. Is that we don't let their word salad confuse us anymore. Not gonna work. It's kind of another way of thwarting fiery darts. Aha! There you go. Just another way. And so I'm gonna bring this here. Like I share this in the show and I share this in future videos, but I want to go ahead and introduce you all to this concept right here with the fiery darts. The way that we learn to deal with them after we put on the armor of God. Okay, put on God's full armor, and we realized that, okay, we get over that rainbow, we got that regulation. For those who are still getting there, keep going, okay, because many of us are living testimonies for you, all right, we're your inspiration, okay, to keep going, because you're going to get there, all right, you're going to get there where you are maintaining that regulation. Nothing, no matter what, the chaos job or whatever's going on out there is getting to us. It does not get us out of character because we see it for what it is, especially that word salad, right? And sometimes we can laugh at it because sometimes it does come out pretty funny. It's like, wait, that makes no sense. All right, but anyway, so this concept for the fiery darts, once we've armored up, here's how we start to envision that, because it's actually kind of cool. When you think of a fiery dart, it makes me think of an actual dart. How the dart has a point at the, a pointed tip at the end, right? They're supposed to sting. Or, if you're playing, the game darts, okay, that tip is pointed because it's supposed to stick, right? Yeah, y'all gonna get where I'm going with this, right? Because this is very similar to that projection, right? When they project those, all the negative emotional garbage, they throw those fiery darts, okay? Make that connection. It gives you a visual. All right, so we start to see those darts with a rubber ball at the end. Those darts are stuck with a rubber ball, which means when they throw it, it bounces off of us and goes right back to them. Boomerang. Okay, there you go. All right, as always, if y'all have any questions, you know where to reach me. And I will always get to those in the comments. And if there's some chats that come in later, I'll get those as well in the comments. And then my contact info always available on the website and in video description. Okay, you all, so don't hesitate to reach out. All right, but I will leave it right there with you for that today. And we appreciate all y'all. Again, all right, you have no idea. All right, so you're always in our prayers. And we want you to just stay blessed, keep going, and enjoy. All right, enjoy your time. Enjoy your peace. Enjoy the joy. God gave us his holy thing for his glory, and we can enjoy them. However it is, God guides our steps to do so. Sending love and light to all fellow warriors. Thank you for watching, listening, and for your support. Till next time, let's show some gratitude to the Heavenly Father, and you keep being you. In Jesus' name, amen.